Teenagers found a kitten, and then something terrible happened. A group of teenagers thought they had made a heartwarming discovery when they found a tiny, helpless kitten on the side of the road. Excited to help, they had no idea that their rescue would take a shocking and terrifying turn. What happened next left them shaken and completely unprepared. For little Buzzy, the world had suddenly become a symphony of terrifying sounds. One moment, he was nestled warmly against his mother's soft fur, safe and secure. The next, he was tumbling alone into a world of cold, unyielding concrete. The familiar scent of her milk was replaced by the sharp sting of garbage, and the soothing hum of her purrs was lost beneath the clatter of metal and the screech of scavenging birds. He was lost, utterly and completely. Wandering for what felt like an eternity, his tiny paws ached, and his meows grew weaker, fading into a pitiful whimper. Then he stumbled upon it, a towering heap of discarded refuse, reeking of decay, a wasteland of forgotten things. But his nightmare was only just beginning. A group of teenagers, their faces flushed with cruel amusement, had spotted him. Buzzy couldn't comprehend their taunts, their kicks, or the searing pain that tore through his tiny body. To them, he was nothing more than a plaything, a target, while their laughter became a chilling backdrop to his suffering. He fought with every ounce of desperation, his small claws and teeth lashing out in a futile attempt to survive. But he was no match. The last thing he felt was unbearable pain, then a dizzying descent into darkness. He woke to a gentler touch, a softer voice. A girl, perhaps a teenager herself, with long, blonde hair and kind eyes, was cradling him. Relief washed over him, a small flicker of hope igniting in his battered soul. He purred weakly, wanting to trust, wanting to believe he was safe. But his relief was short-lived. This girl, under the guise of care, was just another tormentor. Her gentle strokes turned into prods, her soft words into mocking whispers. The same fear, the same pain, enveloped him once more, and he wished for the sweet oblivion he had briefly tasted. He doesn't know how much time passed in this fresh hell. He was a shell of his former self, his spirit broken, his body ravaged. He was thrown into a dark, damp basement, forgotten, and left to rot. Then, a new scent filled the air, not the harsh reek of decay, but something softer, warmer. A woman, her face lined with a weariness that spoke of a life lived with compassion, found him. She knelt, her calloused hand gently cupping his trembling form. He could barely move, his paws swollen and oozing, his bones feeling brittle as glass. She didn't flinch, didn't recoil. Instead, tears welled in her eyes as she carefully lifted him, the weight of his misery feeling like lead in her arms. Her name was Anna. She didn't see a mangled, forgotten creature. She saw a soul whose spark still flickered. Taking him into her tiny home, she replaced the stench of the basement with the soothing scent of disinfectant and warm food. For days, she carefully tended to his wounds, feeding him with a syringe, whispering words of comfort he couldn't understand but somehow felt deep within. The vet's grim diagnosis, infected paws with the looming threat of amputation, didn't shake her resolve. Anna was relentless. She borrowed money, sold possessions, and spent countless hours researching, hoping, and praying. She had never felt such an overwhelming drive to save a life. After a difficult surgery and days of unwavering care, she slowly, painstakingly, nursed him back to health. What was once a mangled ball of fur slowly transformed into a sleek, playful cat. His deep purrs were no longer born of fear, but of pure contentment. He had a new life, one filled with love, patience, and warmth. What an incredible story! If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so please leave a comment below. See you in the next video.